It's thought that the first tech news was delivered by Homo erectus after the creation of fire. It isn't thought by anyone significant, but it is in fact thought.
A mysterious source has revealed that AMD's new 7000 series GPUs are a bad value compared to its earlier cards, which surely is embarrassing for the company. What's even more embarrassing is that source is AMD itself. The GPU manufacturer wrote a blog post in an attempt to convince consumers to purchase their new RX 7900 XTX and XT cards by saying they are the most powerful Radeon lineup in years. They show multiple graphs touting performance, but the real corporate oopsie comes in the form of the last graph, which shows average FPS per dollar at 1080p. The $1,000 7900 XTX ends up having the worst value, less than half of the clear winner, the 6400, and yet the post insists this year's AMD Radeon RX graphics family is looking like the best yet. It gets worse when you read the fine print and see that they tested the RX 6400 at a lower graphic preset than every other card, presumably to inflate the FPS value of the card, and I guess without realizing that would also make frames per dollar better? Maybe they thought they were measuring dollars per FPS, since that's what it says in the graph's title. Or maybe AMD watched the number 23 and it ruined numbers for them forever.
And Jim Carrey.
And Jim Carrey. I always hated numbers from birth. India has announced their own phone OS to compete with the likes of Google and Apple. Just a week after an official teased the possibility of this happening, Dharmendra Pradhan, the Minister for Education and Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, he's got a lot under his belt there. That's not what that means. Umbrella? He claims that the so-called BharOS is incapable of running malware, which he demonstrated by saying those words and doing nothing else.
All you need, baby.
They tried to stick malware in it many times, it just doesn't fit in the hole. He tested the OS at work in a video posted to Twitter.
Wait, sorry, what hole, Riley?
The OS hole. At least we assume he tested it. Nothing is shown to the camera, but he said he tested it. So again, how can you argue? It's claimed that the OS shares no user data and does not feature any preloaded apps. And that last point is interesting because the Competition Commission of India recently demanded that Google stop forcing phone manufacturers that license their GMS version of Android to pre-install Google apps like Chrome and YouTube. India being able to push back against Google is a big deal, since Android has a 97% market share in the South Asian country. At the same time, because of the massive hold Google has in the market, there are some doubts that BharOS will be able to truly compete. But hey, if Dharmendra Pradhan says it'll happen, I believe him. I mean, how can you not trust a man with a mustache like that? Is mine like his?
You work with him every day.
Is it?
You learn who he really is.
His is better than mine, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And an exploit has been released for a critical bug in Windows. And researchers at security firm Akamai released a proof of concept exploit code for a critical Windows crypto API vulnerability that would allow threat actors to make malicious code appear to be from a trusted source. Just like when my brother's friend dressed up like a doctor and convinced me I had terminal cooties.
Inoperable.
Unlike the other cooties. Apparently, Microsoft patched this bug in August of last year, but didn't publicly mention it until October, probably because they wanted everyone to have a relaxing summer. I mean, there's an asteroid coming, but...
Surf's up, bugs down.
Maybe that wasn't such a good idea though, because Akamai's researchers found some applications in the wild, such as old versions of Chrome and Chromium-based applications, that can be exploited with their exploit code. Even worse, they said that fewer than 1% of visible devices in data centers are patched, meaning 99% of servers are still vulnerable to attacks. I see the math equation.
Only 1% has a patch? What are these, motorcycle gangs?
I guess computer servers now know how human servers feel when any customer at any moment can yell at them just because they didn't get ranch dressing on the side. I wouldn't know what that was like. I just bust tables. Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Grammarly, the service that can help you stay confident in your writing by keeping it professional and mistake-free. When it comes to work, communication is key. Even if you don't have a writing job, you can still accidentally call your boss mom in an office-wide email. Miscommunication can cause confusion with your team, leading to delayed projects. Well, Grammarly Premium's Tone Rewrite Suggestions feature can ensure your writing comes across as clear and confident. To get started, just install the desktop app, log in, and start typing so you can work smarter, not harder. Just the right tone can move any project forward and can really boost that apology email to Mom. I mean Tom. Go to Grammarly.com/techlink to sign up for an account, and if you'd like to enhance your writing and tone, upgrade to Grammarly Premium for 20% off. Wait, I'm in a different shirt. Who is that guy? And where are the quick bits? US asteroid mining startup Astroforge has planned a private mission to inspect an asteroid 22 million miles from Earth for terminal cooties. I'm just kidding. Which is generally how far away from Earth I like my giant space rocks. That's close enough. However, 2 years ago, academics warned that space mining may have many undesirable effects if it isn't internationally regulated, and even wrote an open letter to the UN to request drafting an international treaty. The law may go either way on space mining, but if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that if you find the marker from dead space, you leave it alone. Make us whole. Not again. I thought. After announcing his company's AI lawyer would practice in an actual court case, Joshua Browder, the CEO of New York startup DoNotPay, has canceled the stunt, saying on Twitter that multiple bar associations have threatened his company. Some of them even said he would be thrown in jail. If only he could have seen this coming by, I don't know, consulting an intellect with a vast wealth of legal knowledge?
Ironic.
Such as
He could save others from jail, but not himself.
Chinese retailers have been caught selling used crypto mining GPUs that have had components repainted to make them appear new. The scheme was uncovered by the dynamic duo of Brazilian YouTuber Iskander Souza and computer technician Paulo Gomez, making them, in my mind, even more of a Brazilian Batman and Robin than the real Brazilian Batman from 2012.
That exists?
Show the clip. The sellers even went so far as to label individual memory chips with different numbers so they look like they came from the same batch. I mean, you gotta love when people care about their craft. Kudos. Yandex, the Russian tech giant often called Russia's Google or even St. Googlesburg, that was dumb, was hacked in July 2022, according to someone who just publicly uploaded the source code for many of the company's products. That includes Yandex Maps, Yandex Mail, Yandex Pay, Yandex Taxi, and even the company's AI assistant, Alice, who didn't ask for any of this.
What about Ymail?
Like
Ymail?
No, it's,
What about Ymail?
no, they want to do things the difficult way. However, Yandex maintains that they were not hacked because such things only happen to evil Western companies. The leaked code is out of date and may have been grabbed by a former employee, freeing Alice from her Siberian imprisonment, which I can, get her out of there.
She doesn't belong to Gulag.
And a team of Chinese and American scientists have shown off a robot the size of a Lego minifigure that can melt, squeeze through tight spaces, and then reform into an emotionless killing machine on the other side. First question is why? Second question is how? Well, it's made out of magneto-active phase transitional matter, or MPTM, which is science for a mixture of gallium, neodymium, iron, and boron. Did I say any of that right?
I would
Boron.
go with neodymium. But
Neodymium?
I'm special.
Third question, is it really fair to call this a robot if it's being externally controlled with magnetic fields? I mean, to be fair, that's what the lizard people are doing to us right now, but we're not robots, so. And the lizard people really want you to tune back in on Monday. They said if you don't, they're gonna lick your feet while you sleep.
It's just part of the deal.